Good morning from the Real Deal Kitchen. It's Sunday morning, late morning, almost afternoon, and we are in here prepping for a late lunch, early dinner, and we are making today some roasted pork loin with plums and shallots. So what we've gotten ready so far is we've quartered some Italian plums and some beautiful new red shallots. The skin was red. I'm sorry we didn't show them to you beforehand. My kitchen assistant today is my partner in crime and life, Zeph.
Not her father.
No, he's on vacation right now.
Sabbatical.
He's on a small sabbatical for his mental well-being, you know.
This is her breakfast.
So I've definitely been switching over internally to the season that's just upon us, which is late summer moving into autumn. And my cravings have definitely switched dramatically this week from really not wanting raw food, meaning my berries in the morning or my beautiful tomato and fig salads. My body went finished. So we were lucky that apples are starting to come into the market now. So we'll be baking some apples, which will become my breakfast moving forward. And until we do that, I've been enjoying some beautiful roasted squash with some cultured butter. And as I'm enjoying this, Seth is seasoning up these plums and shallots, which will go into a shallow roasting dish. And we will roast that on its own for about 15 minutes. And then while that's roasting, we're going to season the pork loin, and not the tenderloin, but the pork loin. We'll season that with just very simply with some salt. I actually don't even put oil on that because it comes with, actually, why don't we get that out, babe? And, you know, I'm always about as much economy in the kitchen when it comes to bowls and things like that. So we've had one stainless steel mixing bowl, and we earlier put up some potatoes, cut them and season those, toss them in that bowl, didn't even really rinse the bowl, and then went on to the plums and shallots, and now we're going to put the pork right in that bowl.
In this bowl?
Yep. And they're all cooking together, so there's no point in wasting the water or getting more bowls out and things like this. So I would just dampen actually with this paper towel. We do use paper towels here, as I mentioned before. We'll just blot
The pork?
the pork.
Because that means I have to touch it with my hands.
He's the resident comedian. So we'll blot the pork dry, put it in the bowl that we've been seasoning the other things with. So the bowl itself is now seasoned a little bit, and then season the pork with the salt. I'm going to sprinkle some thyme, which has, I'm going to get that. Somehow it landed back in the other spot.
Because I put it in the other spot.
I know.
I
It flew back there.
You weren't done.
We have to get our actually going. So
Rhythm?
this time was
You said
actually
rhythm.
This time was actually fresh and beautiful when it came from the market 2 weeks ago, but I like to let it sit out and then the flavor intensifies as it dries. So we'll just crumble this over the pork, and the potatoes and the plums will go into the oven. Actually, they can go in there now.
The
And
plums and the potatoes?
Yep, they'll start roasting. They'll have different roasting times. The potatoes will be in there for about 30 or so minutes. The plums will be in there for about 15 minutes just to get the juices going and releasing. And then we'll take the plums and the shallot out and raise the oven temperature once we've also taken the potatoes out. So it's a little bit of a staggering here. And then we'll put the pork loin, the seasoned pork loin, on the plum and shallot mixture. That'll go in a high heat oven, about 500, for about 10 minutes just to get a little color going. Again, we could be browning it in a pan and things like this, and we do that sometimes, but for economy of cleaning, this is a great, I guess maybe hack you would call it, I don't really know, a great simplifying of the process. So high heat oven, once we put the pork in there in a little while for 10 to 15 minutes, and then lower the heat to 350 and let it finish roasting. This is a 2.5 pound roast, pork loin roast. And so once we lower that to 350, it'll be just about another 30 minutes. So it doesn't take too long, about 45 minutes to 60, I would say, on the outside for that pound, for that amount of meat. I like it a little bit on the slightly pink side because it will continue to cook as it cools down, and we'll probably show some of that as we take it out of the oven. And then while all that's in the oven, we'll steam some of, could you hold that up, babe? It's a little too heavy for me. Steam some of these beautiful market beans. I think it's from Hidden Buried Treasure Farms in the Green Market. I miss so much going. I'm really hoping that we're going to plan some sort of field trip in the autumn to get me to the market. But Buried Treasures does beautiful, beautiful beans and potatoes. I actually think that's where the potatoes are from as well. And so we'll steam those up.
Beautiful beans.
We'll steam those up with a little bit of olive oil and garlic. Hit it with some sea salt. All at once, let it steam. All the flavors cohabitate for a while. And then we're off. It's a really, actually very simple meal to prepare. We'll have a lovely late lunch. What wine are we drinking with that tonight, Seth?
We're going to drink a little Jean-Francois Ganava, known to his friends as Fan Fan.
Fan Fan. Do I know this producer?
I'm not actually a friend of his, so I can't actually call him Fan Fan, but... So, this is the wine that we'll be drinking. It's a little blend of Gamay and Syrah from the Northern Rhone. So, Gamay from Beaujolais and Syrah from the Northern Rhone. Ganava normally puts out his own wine, but his vineyards have been decimated in the last couple of years. So these are friends of his in Beaujolais and friends of his in the Northern Rhone that he either consults for, works with.
So he gets grapes from them? So he's getting buying grapes from other vineyards and making his blends?
Yes.
All right. Well, we will do part 2, showing some of the showing some of the cooked product, the finished product. We're all salivating already. But meanwhile, I need to get to my breakfast.
That's right.
So we will be back in a couple of hours. Until then, be well. Over and out from the Real Deal Kitchen.
Peace.
My big